Iran sharpening its rhetoric against the United States as that nation marks the second year since the assassination of General Qasem Soleimani. Tehran's president saying, quote, the then president of America, which is the main aggressor, murderer, and a criminal, must be prosecuted and killed if Trump and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo are not tried in a fair court for the criminal act of assassinating General Soleimani. Muslims will take our martyrs' revenge. Retired General Keith Kellogg is a former national security advisor to the Trump administration and co-chairman of the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. First, your reaction to that, sir. Welcome, by the way.
Hi, Sandra. Thank you for having me, and Happy New Year. It's just words. Look, when we killed Qasem Soleimani, that was a strategic decision by President Trump to reset the battlefield in the Middle East, and it was designed to do that, and it worked. Prime Minister Netanyahu later told us that we ate the arm off the tiger, and for a year, things were very, very quiet after we eliminated Soleimani. Here's what he's doing, though, and I really think Raisi is doing this with a deliberate fashion to influence the talks currently going on, the nuclear talks, to try to get Iran back into the JCPOA, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. So he's going to use Trump as a reason why they're going to fail. And they are going to fail. We're into the 8th round. We're not really part of it. Remember, we're just kind of sitting on the sidelines, and the Spanish are feeding us information that, of things that are happening in Vienna. And I think they're heading towards a failure. I think the Iranians are heading towards a nuclear breakout, meaning that they're going to have a breakout period where they're going to have enough enriched uranium to create a nuclear weapon within a year. And they always fall back on, well, it's all because of Trump, because Trump killed Soleimani. That was one of the best things that happened to the United States and to peace in the Middle East when we eliminated Soleimani. And I think that period of quiet that we had proved that.
Well, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo went on with Sean Hannity last night defending the decision. Listen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing about what we recommended to the president. We were defending the United States of America. We were keeping American people safe. Qasem Soleimani was actively engaged in plotting against America. And we took military actions, lawful military action, to make sure that no Americans were killed. It was a good decision. And now we have the responsibility, the American leadership has the responsibility to make sure and keep every American safe.
Yeah.
Pompeo also defended that decision. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, John.
Well, no, Sandra, Attorney General Barr said it was a legal decision by the President of the United States, and it was a good decision. Right. It was a very deliberate decision. It was a very strategic decision to reduce the threat on the battlefield. Remember, on New Year's Eve, surrogates of the Iranians, Iraqi surrogates, attacked the U.S. Embassy. That's what drove us to that decision. That's what drove President Trump to that decision. And we knew that it was going to be a tough decision. In fact, Gina Haspel, the director of the CIA, told everybody in the room when that decision was made to, quote, buckle up, because she knew that we might have tremendous fallout. And what happened, it was a very weak response from the Iranians. They basically said, we're going to shoot at you one time, and then we're done. They did that. The president said, okay, we're done, and we had a year of quiet. So it was a good decision. It was a hard decision, but it was the right decision at the time. Secretary Pompeo is correct.
Yeah, and he also backed up that decision in a tweet saying Soleimani was actively engaged in plotting against America. We took lawful military action to make sure that no Americans were killed. He said American leadership now has the responsibility to keep every American safe against the threat from Iran. So what does all this mean big picture, finally, General, as we know a new nuclear deal is trying to be hashed out?
Well, I think what it means is when we were operating, the President Trump was operating, he was operating from strength, and he knew the Iranian government, the supreme leader, knew that he was next on the list because we super escalated. We didn't just go tit for tat on the escalation ladder. We went up very high. And that means that America has to understand that when we work in the Middle East, especially with the Iranians, we have to come from a position of strength and force. I don't think this administration gets it. And I think they're going to use that, the Iranians, to continually push down the road this whole decision on the JCPOA. They're not going to come back into it. They are going to do a nuclear breakout within this year, and then we're going to have to confront a nuclear Middle East and all the ramifications that come from Iran eventually having a nuclear weapon.